to another show of Don't Get This Twisted. I am Rob, along with my co-host, as always, Tina. How you doing, Tina?
I am great, Rob. I just literally got out of the pool and took a shower and ate dinner, and now I'm here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly warm.
It's 104 in my backyard right now.
Yeah. At my house right now, it's 100.
Okay.
So, but where I work, it was 105 today.
Balls.
Yeah, it was.
It's been hot.
Warm.
Everybody complains about it right now. We're in heat advisory mode.
Yeah, it's really bad right now. Like, I mean, even overnight, I don't know what it is where you live, but overnight here, it didn't get below 76.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I haven't even been turning the air off. I just set it at 75 and then go to sleep.
Yeah. That's probably a good temp to have.
Yeah, it is definitely very sleepable. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. And then I turn a fan on and it circulates that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pretty crazy. But besides that, just trying to stay warm or cold. Chilly. I mean,
something here.
Staying warm isn't hard.
Not at all.
Days. Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully in a week, they said it might be better. So I don't know. I really, really hope so.
I'm hearing some really weird feedback here. So
I'm hearing static too. Maybe. Okay, Tina, technical difficulties as always. We're back though. So you sent me something this past week. It's funny how this show comes together. If people only knew how sometimes we're just the seat of our pants.
It's very organic. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
It's go with the flow.
Exactly. And you just never know. But you did send me this, and I found it to be very interesting and very poignant, I guess, for mostly people our age. But I think anyone, and once I'll play the little interview promo that was off of Instagram. And then we'll talk about like different versions of that. So here we go.
Brandon Collinsworth, he says, when your parents pass, you'll be changed forever. He says, I would give up everything to have one more conversation with my mom. To be able to call your mom, to be able to call your dad, to hear them bicker, go through their ways, it's a blessing. When I saw my mom in the morgue, it fucked me up. When I saw my dad in the morgue, it fucked me up because they never come back. He says, if you have your parents alive still, lean in and have the conversations that you need to have, and don't let your ego get in the way of saying what you need to say, because one day you won't have the opportunity to do so.
Whatever you have going on in a relationship with your parents, if it's mendable, mend it. It's not worth it. When people will say, but you just don't understand. My situation's different. I'm special. I'm unique. No, you're not. You're hurt. They're hurt. If you can suspend the ego long enough to say what you need to say, even if it's, hey, mom, hey, dad, you hurt me, and I just need you to hear it, independent of how they receive it, because maybe they can't, because they don't know how. But if you have a living parent that you're on the outs with, estranged from, and there is the potential to repair it in some capacity, you have to.
So, yeah, that is super duper deep.
Yeah. It actually made me cry when I heard it, because I don't have the opportunity to talk to my mom anymore. And when he said just one more argument, I was like, I would give anything to be able to just spar with her. I miss that.
And when I heard it, I thought a lot of different things. I also believe that this is everyone, not just our parents.
Oh, for sure.
Because, with some of the friends that we've had in our lives pass away, what I would do to just talk to them one more time.
Yeah, you've talked about that before.
It's, and for different reasons. Like my old tag team partner who passed away, he was 30 something years old. He was an addict. He had lots of problems. Yeah. I was married and had a kid and was a family person. And he, I think, felt that, and he alienated himself from my life, where he didn't really have to. I wish I would have just because he called and he would be high. And I really wish that I should have just sat down for a second and tried to rattle his cage, even though you can't with people who are addicts.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then another wrestler friend of mine, he just died young. He was 50 years old, and his heart, he had a heart attack early, and to really just, have that conversation of friendship one more time. Because we did a lot of things together, and, I was like 20 something years old, and we traveled for 2 years straight and beat the living shit out of each other for fun.
Yeah.
So, and then parents, I mean, obviously I think, I'm lucky because I don't think, not that I wouldn't have things to talk to my mom about, because I definitely would love to talk to my mom again, but I'm a little lucky where my relationship, for the last probably year and a half before she passed away, we talked a lot.
Yes, you did.
So
and she listened to the podcast.
Yeah, every week.
So she heard a lot more than
she
would have on a call.
I always loved my mom going, I really didn't know that about you. It's like, yeah, Mom, I some things at the time I didn't say to anyone, and it's just easy to say it on here because you can just throw your shit up into the air and go, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I can see.
Plus, I think that you didn't live with her, so she was limited on what she knew just from that.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I think that just some things are, when you're younger, you just kind of keep to yourself just because you don't want to burden your parents.
Yeah.
I think our parents for sure, though, it's so important that mostly if you have, I'll use a wrestling term, if you have heat with them, if you have issues with them, if you've had issues in the past that are somewhat resolved, but not.
Yeah.
Somebody's still got a little needle in their ass. I definitely think that you should, like this guy said, you have to find a way to do it. You're not special.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at it now with my dad because I live with him and he's been sick. It seems like for the last easy couple years.
It has been a couple of years.
And it's one thing after another. And the other day he came into the shop with my brother because my brother wanted his beard trimmed before they went out. So I said, yeah, just come to the shop and get it, just bring Dad with you. And then you guys could go to dinner and I'll go do my thing. So he comes in and I tell him not to sit on the rolling chairs. Well, he knows not to do that anymore because he fell backwards in one the last time he sat in it and threw coffee on the ceiling and landed on his ass. And it was pretty funny, but he could have really hurt himself.
Right.
So he knows better than to try that now. And now it's years later, probably about 7-8 years later. And I had him sit down in a chair that we actually used to cut hair. And he was having a hard time getting his leg up over the footrest. And he looked at me and he said, shit, Tina, I'm Papa's age, which is my grandfather, his dad. And I looked at him for a second and I was like, holy shit, he is, and now he's got, I shouldn't even be talking about this, but he wears hearing aids and he does not hear me. He tells me I mumble now. And I've never been a mumbler. Like everybody hears me. And, quit shaking your head,
yes.
Rob, you fucker.
but it is true. Like you're not.
Yes. I'm not a mumbler.
I'm not saying that you like scream things, but you're very clear, intentional when you talk.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I'll take that.
Because I don't think you yell. That's not what I mean. But I was trying to think of how to say that to you because it is true. And you always have been like that. Like this is not like the last 5 years thing. This is the last 35 years.
Since I was like 2.
Yeah. I mean, at least
he's
me.
He's wearing the hearing aids and he's got his dentures on, and God forbid they get those stupid things right. So I don't hear him chewing in, it drives me nuts. So, I'm living with this man that's not the dad that used to throw me into the pool like I was a football,
Yeah, correct.
So I think that maybe that's why the little snippet that I sent you, like, it resonated, because he's the chief of our tribe. He has all the stories. He has all the songs. He has like all the things that everybody comes to him for. At some point, I'm going to have to know all that, or try to, they're going to come to me like, do you remember when your dad used to, do you remember what that is?
Oh, yeah.
And I was having a hard time remembering where my mom was born. And it started this, like, I'm not remembering everything. Like, it's been so long since it's been talked about. Like, I'm not remembering. And that, it kind of freaks me out, because my brother doesn't remember shit. He's the one that stands right behind me on my right and goes, Tina, who is that? Tina, who is that? Like,
right.
And that's been every year since birth. So he's not going to remember all these things.
He's really not remembering.
No.
Well, because he always had you to remember.
Yes.
Yes.
And he'll say, he goes, I don't have to remember that. Or he'll say, give the pictures to Tina, because Tina puts them away for me. I don't have the kids to send all these like old pictures that shows who we are way back in the day. He does. And yet I'm the one that has to archive everything. And I'm not good at that either. I'm not even around a filing cabinet at work, Like,
right.
So when I listened to this guy's podcast, that's when I heard it, and I was like, oh man. And 2 of my friends are in the process. Their moms just aren't doing well. And they've both been calling me like, how do you get through this? How to, and I'm trying to love and support them through losing their moms, while I feel like I'm losing a bit of mine, So it's been I don't know, that little snippet was very telling as to where life is right now.
I think okay. So I'm lucky because my mom passed away in another state.
Yeah.
The part where he says, that when I saw my mom in the morgue, and then when I saw my dad in the morgue, it like really fucked you up. I'm lucky. I probably will never have to see either of my parents dead.
Right.
My dad lives in another state. He'll probably die in another state. My stepmom will take care of everything. My dad wants to be cremated. I'll probably never have to live that out. Thank fucking goodness. Because I've already told my son, I said, if they ever want to show you my body,
tell them no.
Don't see it. Just look at my arms, because I have tattoos.
Oh yeah.
If they ever have to, like, you need to identify, all he'll ever have to do is go, let me see his arms. Right. I said, do not remember my death face. No one wants to remember that. That
to me is so burnt into my brain, because so when my mom passed, I was the one that found her, and I went and I touched her, and she was really freaking cold, and you could feel dead. I don't know how else to describe that, but she just was not, her soul was not there. She did not feel the same. The energy wasn't the same. Nothing was same. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't remember how to turn on my cell phone, and not to turn it on, but to unlock it. I couldn't remember the passcode at the time. So I kind of fell down to the ground against the kitchen sink, where the cabinets were. And I was trying to figure out the code, and I kept looking at her in her eyes, because her eyes were open, and that picture it'll never leave my head. It's in there.
Yeah. So my ex-wife's mom passed away. And she wanted my son to see her before she died, because we knew she was going to die. She had a very massive tumor in her brain. And they said she probably has about 2 months to live. And then the next day they said she has 10 hours to live. Like it started swelling, everything. So I got him, it's about an hour drive from where I used to live, hour and something. Got him there, went home. Then I get a call out of nowhere of my kid going, I don't want to be here when she dies. Please come get me. I just don't want to have to deal with this. So I get in the car and I bust my ass out there driving. It was in the desert. It was in Lancaster. I'm hauling ass. And as soon as I get there, he runs out crying. She had already died.
Oh.
Yeah. Not that I have issues with it, but because I think it kind of changed my son's view on death. Not that he didn't care, but he was very, after that, he was very nonchalant about her dying. Like, she's dead. Like it wasn't, like he didn't, not that he didn't care. I think his outlook on death was different.
He had to turn off to deal with it. It sounds like a little bit.
Or he just sees death for what it is. Because here's the one thing. I've never seen a freshly dead person.
Wow.
Okay. She had passed, probably 30 minutes before I got there. Maybe even less. And to walk in, it was the first time I realized that we're just a shell.
Yeah.
That's all we are. We're just a husk and whatever you want to call the inside of us, I'll leave it up to your religious beliefs. If you want to call it a soul, an energy, a mystic star that is inside of us, whatever you fucking want to call it, because I think it's all the same. It's just a different way of putting it.
Yeah.
You're Native American. I'm sure there's a different name for it. You know what I mean?
Got a bunch of them.
But I think it's all the same shit.
Absolutely.
Okay, whatever you want to call it. It was the first time for me, because I've seen lots of dead people, but like at a funeral in a box, and it's different. It was the first time that I saw somebody and I was like, oh yeah, we're just a husk. You're gone. Yeah. And when that leaves you, you turn off. You're just a husk and you're like, so I even kind of looked at things differently. I was like, okay, her soul or her presence is somewhere else. That's just a husk. And it was really hard for me because my youngest stepdaughter and her were very, very, very close. Aww. Like extremely close. And it was weird to me that she's in there hugging this dead body. Yeah. I don't resonate with that. Even if I found my mom, I would not hug my dead mom. And I know that might sound horribly bad, but it's just because I look at it that way. That's not my mom anymore. That's just a husk. My mom went off to whatever other plane you want to believe in. And again, I'm not shitting on people who do. It's just not for me. But I think it definitely changed the way I look at things. Religiously, spiritually, however you want to look at it. It was a very eye-opening thing for me to see. And everyone I know who's been around their parents or someone who passes away in front of them or within a few minutes says the exact same thing. My friend down the street, her dad had cancer and she took a leave of absence from her job and took care of him until he died. Wow. And yeah, I don't know how she did it. I give her the utmost respect for that because she had to take care of him like an infant. She bathed him, everything. And she said some things to me that I think were very telling of who we are as humans. She was like, you could tell that he was happy that she was there, but also embarrassed that she had to be. You know what I mean? Like, that he was like, I'm shitting myself and you got to clean me. And I can't do this and you have to, help me or whatever. Right. And the things that she said to me made it all exactly what I think most people say, is that it was the best thing she ever did, because she got closer to her father before he passed, learned things about him she might not have known, and paid it forward. Now, she's a religious person. She's has a very hard belief in God. And I think that it's something that we do have to do while they're living here. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't do it after, that's for sure.
Right. But a lot of people wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. And like you said, like this guy said, like, you might have gone through the worst thing ever. And the same person had very, very, very hard issues with her mother. And I mean, like, good ones. Right. And probably what I can see from the outside looking in would have been okay not talking to her mom ever again. But I think she realized that that's my mom, and they've mended fences. Is it the greatest thing in the world? No. But the fences, at least, they both walk up to the fence and talk now.
Right.
And I think that's, if that's the best you can do, you've won.
Well, yeah, people are in your life for a specific reason, whether we like it or not. And your moms they're the heavy hitter for, I would say, for both men and women. But I don't know, there's something different about a mom and a daughter, for sure. And they 100%. Go through, they're like, you're the roughest on your daughters, and you're also the roughest on your moms. And so that's like to me, that's always been like a big karmic relationship. And you don't get out of it by not doing the work. With my mom, we fought like cats and dogs. We both had admitted to each other that we like to argue just because we sharpened our claws. We like to spar. We didn't go at each other with anything that wasn't the truth. Like, right. When my mom gave it to me, she had every right to say what she did. She was my mom. And the same for, the same back. Like, she told me one time, she goes, Teen, I raised you, but you finished raising me and your dad. Like, there was a lot of times we were doing something and you were like, hey, that's okay. Like, oh, it's like that. Why are you doing it? And she said, you forced us to grow because of me just calling bullshit.
Right. Questioning.
But she did the same thing to me my whole life too. Like, she called bullshit. She forced things. And you know what? We did have that conversation that, do you judge somebody on their worst day with you, or do they judge it on a lifetime with you? Mm-hmm. And that was kind of a big conversation that we had when that question came up, and it forced us to work with each other. Right. And it's funny because I have people say, oh, you weren't that close to your mom. And then my dad will say, that is not true. Like, right. Tina and her mom were like together on everything when it was the two of them. Right. But when other people are around, maybe it wasn't, or maybe we had differences of opinion, or like I said, there were so many things we couldn't talk about if people were around. And because people were always around, we didn't get to talk.
Correct.
So, it's funny to hear you weren't close, but I'm like, really? Because even my brother would say, I don't know anyone closer to mom than you.
I totally agree. So, and even the small things, I didn't come over your house all the time, but your mom was, you guys were always tight. Yeah. I would have never thought, being around you growing up, that you didn't have a good relationship with your mom. Your mom was definitely a wild child.
Oh yeah.
Without a doubt. And she was fiery.
Very much so.
Even around, you know, us, like people she didn't know very well. She and I will say that, like, that is, again, much like my mom, the filter was very, very thin. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
And I think that just comes from their growing up. You know what I mean? And I'll even give you even more retrospect about death. My mom and her mom had a fucking horrible time at the end. They never talked ever again, and my grandma passed away.
Oh, how sad.
And I know she didn't really talk about it a lot with me, but there would be things that would come out that I know that it took a toll on her.
Yeah.
Because I think, and I know for sure, because I read this diary that she'd left for me and my brother, and there was things about that in it. So it weighed on her that her mom passed away and she didn't have a chance to maybe not make up, but really say, this is how I feel. And I'm sorry you felt like that. And I think it's important that we do that with everybody. You know, there's so many friends that you grow apart for whatever reason. People get married, people have kids, they move out of state, whatever it is, you know, whatever the issue is with why people grow apart. I mean, close friends, it is in your best interest to make sure they know how you have felt at some point.
I think that if it's important to you, you absolutely should. I mean, with my next door neighbor friend, I don't see her like I used to, because obviously I don't live next door to her anymore. Mm-hmm. But every time we see each other, we hug each other, we grab each other probably too inappropriately, and we tell each other we love each other. And you know, if I feel like with my friends, with my core group, if I was to die today, everybody knows how I felt about it.
That's solid.
It's solid, right? Like, you totally know, you don't need to question it ever, right?
No,
and we have never had a conversation about it. No, but no. You also wear things on your sleeve, very outward bound. Also, you have a way of saying it different ways that people know. Like, I'll give you an example how you might say something that means means I love you, but you could be like, hey, just so you know, we haven't really saw each other in a while. Come have lunch with me. Yeah.
That is another way of maybe telling somebody who doesn't want to hear the mushy shit that you love them. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And not that I take it that way, because I don't, because you have said things over our lifetime, because you've known me during relationships, that you've said things that I don't question that about you. But I think that is a way of that you might say that to somebody that might not want to hear the I love you thing, but that is what I get from that. If someone goes like, and I mean a close person to me goes, hey man, we really haven't hung out in a little while. Why don't you come down and have lunch with me, or let's have dinner, or come down and hang out and have a couple drinks, blah, blah, blah. You know, because mostly with men to men, you know, guys, we did a podcast, and then the next day I listened to something else, and I can't even tell you what it was about, the one we did. The next day I listened to this other podcast, and it was really these guys talking about, you got to remember to tell the people in your life that you love them. And I text my best friend and this other guy, we're in a text group, and I was just like, look, guys, I just want you to, you know, lots going on in life. We really haven't seen each other in a long time. Love you guys. I just want you to know. And it was followed by exactly what I thought was going to come back. They both were like, you're gay. And I was like, perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And I think both of them know that I care dearly about them. But we have that crazy sense of humor, so we have to make sure that we know it. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Look, and I mean people that are close. I'm not saying you have to call every single one of your friends that you've ever like hung out with and tell them how you felt about them. But important people in your life have a way of getting away from you.
I agree.
And it's not meant in any malicious fashion. Life just has a way of taking turns and twists.
Yeah.
And if they're important to you, I think it's of the utmost importance to yourself to do the maintenance and make sure, even if it's, their next birthday or the next Christmas text of like, hey man, I'm just checking in, make sure they know. Cause mostly, I mean, at our age, we're getting older that we're going to start losing more people than we want to.
Yeah.
That's just factual.
Absolutely.
But I've even told my kid who's 23 years old, because of losing people at a young age, make sure that the people that you care about know. And if they don't reciprocate, it's okay. At least you know that you've laid the foundation.
Oh, totally. I have a friend that I dated. I guess I was always like his crush that he felt like got away. And then, after
I got a couple of those.
My divorce, he got in contact with me and we were talking and he was like, please come and see me and everything. So I did. And we went out the time I was there or whatever. And I still had to come home. Like, it wasn't like I was going to date him or stay with him. it was a little bit of a fling and we had a great time. And then, we stay in touch. But the last time I texted him, he said to me, hey, sorry, I'm with so-and-so and I'm not trying to do anything to mess it up. And I said, well, friends are friends. I've known you since you were 16 years old. Mm-hmm. I'm going to call and check in and just say, hi, I was thinking about you. I said, I heard some music on the radio and I could see you dancing to what I was listening to. And it made me think of you, which is why I called. And he was like, thank you for doing that. Cause I didn't know how to tell you I still wanted my friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
just like that.
I said, I already knew that, and I'm still going to call your ass. And if your girlfriend has a problem with you talking to me, I'll keep it as like once a year, like we're doing now. Like I'm not changing,
right?
Not changing. It's a once a year thing. I'm just saying, hey, I remember you.
Yeah. And look, there's people from our lives that have made an impact.
Yes. And we're talking long time people. Like I've known him since he was 16 and he's 53. Like, right, come on. Exactly. We're beyond like worrying about messing up a relationship or, you know what I mean?
Well, because I think at that point you should be able to, but you should also be able to be upfront enough to go, look, I'm dating somebody.
Yeah. And he totally did. But I knew he's been with her for like 6 years.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean? Like, I mean something that's new. Like, like let's say you've been talking for years and years, and then they get a boyfriend, and they go, "Hey, I just want you to know, like," and if they're your friend and there's no other thing other than that, you should be happy for said people.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's people from my past that I'm thankful that I've had a chance to, I hate to say come to terms, but, talk with them. And if there was any ill will or any kind of weird ending, I have done pretty good. There's one girl that I just haven't found that I would have liked to just kind of went, more like, hey, what happened? I know that like just things went off the rail. But there's other ones that I'm very happy that I've got a chance to talk to and set the record straight.
Yeah. To me, once you're my people, you're my people. And people don't normally ever get out of that net. You stay my people. The chosen few have gotten out of my net. Yeah, they're not welcome there anymore, obviously, but they're very rare. Like, it takes a lot for me to say, nah, I'm completely done. But everybody, and you know, maybe you're gonna just need to play this at my funeral, Rob, because God forbid I want to die before you. But everybody should know that if you're in my life, that I love you.
Yeah, 100%.
There's no question. Now, whether I like you or I want to strangle you is another story. But I give people a long leash, you know, like I want them to be them. So, and I think that's part of loving somebody is you don't want, you know, to stop them from being them. You don't want to rein them in. You want to enjoy I love wild people. I do. And I don't want to rein anybody in. I want to watch what everybody's doing and just crack up. Right. So, but everybody should know that I care and that I do love them and see you later. If I get out of here, I'm going to be like, gotta go. You know, you're on your own, but know that I left with loving each and every one of the people that are in my life, or I wouldn't have them in it.
I think making sure that the people who are in your life, look, even the people that you love, sometimes you have to distance yourself from them for whatever reason.
For sure.
You know, I think that I'll give you the better example. For the people that you want to have romantic relations with and they have chosen someone else, it is in your best interest to step backwards, whether they're your friend or not.
Yeah.
For your own mental stability.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that they don't mean something to you. It just means that you have to be there for when they need you, but make sure that you don't get hurt over it, because you can't hurt yourself over the people you love and even your parents. You know what I mean? Like, you should tell them how you feel, but you also can't let it crumble your life. I'll give you the better example. If your parents don't like your husband or wife, you can't let that determine your life. It's like if your kids don't like your significant other, you know, if you've gotten remarried or if you've gotten divorced and you have a new boyfriend or girlfriend, you can't let your kids decide your future.
Right.
So you also can't let your parents ruin what you truly believe is a good thing. You can only tell them how you feel. You know, I don't know. I'm sure I've told the story on here before. My mom didn't like what we were going to name my son to the point where she wrote another name in a book and sent it to us. And then when my ex-wife found it or it came, she threw a gasket. Yeah. Like had a conniption fit. And she said, you need to fix this. And I totally agreed. So I called my mom and I had to say something to my mom that I never thought I'd have to say. You know what I mean? Because I just thought she would understand. And I told her, I said, look, this is what we're naming him. I don't care if you don't like it. It's not your son. So you can either be a grandma or you can not be a grandma. It's up to you. And I ended it with that. I was very straightforward. And my mom, you know, thankfully my mom is my mom, called me back not too long. And she said, you know what? I have no right to do that. You know, he's my grandson. You know, I'll love him and I'll call him exactly what his name is. And then she saw him when he was like, you know, 6 months old, and then lost her mind and then never, ever thought to never call him what his name is ever. Oh. So, you know, look, we all do crazy shit, say the wrong thing, you know, but it doesn't mean that you can't come back from that and see the light of your mistakes. Because love is love is love. You know, we love people for their craziness. We love people for their how they make you feel. There's so many things that are out there that fix, you know, like I said, it not having people in your life for the detriment of everybody is sometimes the only thing, but it doesn't mean that you don't love them and you can't tell them.
Right. I mean,
You know?
like I said, nobody's perfect. And are you going to judge somebody for whatever happened here and where everywhere else they did exactly what they should for you? Or do you, do you and really to harbor resentment after a long time for me doesn't it doesn't sit well anyway, because everybody changes. We all grow, we all evolve, we all learn, we're all given the same lesson plan until we get it. You know, we still have whatever we started with as our lessons that we have to go through. But we could make it easy on ourselves and try to go through it with grace and forgiveness, or we could go through it kicking and screaming, because we have to get the lesson one way or another.
Correct.
You know, with the people in my life that I've lost as of late, I'm looking at life differently, and I'm like, wow, you know, you do need to, and I've always been a catch life by the nuts. You know, I like to be that type of person. I like to live, and I'm always doing something. But if you let those times get away from you, or you let time in general get away from you, and you don't work on forgiveness, that you will be sitting there like the guy that was talking, and you won't have the finality of it all. You won't be able to man, I love that person. I wish they were still here. You know, my mom and I had a lot of fights, and some of the things that she did, and some of the things where he's still hearing like news stories of stuff she did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, God, am I glad I don't hold a grudge for all that. I'm glad that I have found forgiveness for her. And you know what, for myself, because I am my mother's daughter.
Right.
And there's no getting out of that one alive. I don't have the red hair, but I am her.
Yeah.
And
100%.
Thankfully, part of me is my dad too. So I have a little bit better balance than my mom did. But my brother and I talk all the time. It would be so easy to do what she did that we didn't like, because that was our exposure. That was how it was. That was our normal, you know? So I'm grateful that I've gotten to a place where, and I did it long ago, where I could just be like, yeah, mom was really fucked up at times, but she was also this great, wonderful person. And it was all a big bundle of both. And that's okay. I've been, you know, it'll let you off the hook too, because if you're judging your parents, guaranteed the things you're going to judge them for are the exact same things you're going to do to them. I don't know how that works, but I know, being my age, that's exactly what happens. And you don't want to go hating on yourself too for being just like them. Like, just, we all have our crosses to bear. We just have to find a way to do it and laugh. Like, the things my mom did now, I think to myself, fucking crazy bitch, man, that's hilarious.
Right.
And laugh, and we make jokes about it. But where did we get that sense of humor? My brother and I definitely got it from my mom.
Right.
You know, it's so, I don't know. I think that you're right. We need to just try to find a way to love people through it, because there's so much that everybody goes through, and it's not easy. None of this is easy. And, you know, we are losing people sooner than ever.
Yeah.
And time is not something that we should take for granted. And I think that we all need to start looking at things a little differently and having a little bit of grace for the person that's struggling. And as a parent, you struggle on a daily.
Yeah. And look, time is the only currency that we have that's worth a shit.
Yeah.
And,
and it's not even anything we possess.
No. Oh, but it is, but just in a different way, like I've been lucky enough to have people come back into my life that were like 20 something years. Somebody who she got married and is going through her own struggles right now. But we had a weird relationship. I mean, we bought a house together. I didn't want to sell it. She sued me, like lots of things. And then many, many years later, she's going through something, and we really talked very sporadically over 20 something years. And I mean, so sporadically that it's probably you could count on one hand. It's like, and it was very much like, hey, this is what's going on. Hope things are okay. And that was it. So when I had a chance to, meet back up with her and kind of really go over the things from our past that we miscommunicated with, it was nice. And I'm glad that we got to do that, because it's important that, and now I feel very comfortable with, my relationship with her. Like, we have a great relationship, and I know that if she needed to talk, she could call me, and same and vice versa. And, it's better. And with my dad, like I've, when I came back to California, I stayed with my dad for a month, and I got to say a lot of things to him that I'm okay with it now. And, like I said, I'm not going to be okay with him dying, but I'm okay with where we are, because I had to say a bunch of shit to him. I ate a very big plate of crow, and I was happy to do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, I would say that little speech at the beginning of this podcast is what everyone really needs to go back, listen to that very short part of this, and really take that for what it is and whatever it means in your life, and fix things that you think need to be fixed.
Yeah, because time is not guaranteed.
And sometimes it's of the essence.
Yeah, that's how I feel with my dad.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now we're going to start, taking video and asking the questions and listening to what he has to say. Cause it's funny. He wants to talk about the past, but it's like the same old shit. I really need to ask him different questions and get, a whole
100%.
story. Not just
That's a great idea.
Piece. Yeah. I did it with my grandparents. I didn't do it with my mom. I just didn't think she was going to go like that. But I did do it with my grandparents on my dad's side, and I'm going to do it with my dad.
Yeah,
and,
important.
Yeah, my brother and I were already talking about it. We did the songs, the native songs. So we're on our way. But now I feel like an urgency.
Yeah, I think there is an urgency.
Yeah.
I think for all of us, there's an urgency of our parents. For sure.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Hey, the show has been doing well. Thank you, everybody. With this particular podcast, we've already, for this month, we're already at the best month we've ever had.
Nice.
So, but there is a goal that we're getting close to. We're about 37 downloads away from that. So if you're hearing this, make sure you pass it on to whoever wants to listen, because we'd love to hit this certain goal of our month. So, any last words, Miss Tina?
I don't know. I just think that we're at a time right now where we just need to be a little bit more human to each other. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And I just think that make sure don't go to sleep at night, or do your best not to, without the people in your life knowing. So if there's someone that's out there that you still have to kind of, touch base with, do it, because you never know. It's an opinion show. Don't get it twisted. Keep coming back every week. That's Tina and I'm Rob. We'll see you in a week. Bye.
See ya.